My name's Eli Delaney, and I have the honor of meeting some pretty cool people. These are the entrepreneurs, the artists, the creatives, the game changers that are making a positive impact in the people that they meet. And I'm a firm believer that the people that you meet can get you anywhere you want to go. And this show is my way of sharing them with you. It's my way of also helping you meet cool people. All right, welcome back, everybody. Eli here, and today I have a new friend of mine. We've had a great conversation just like a week or two ago and immediately hit it off. This is Mario Wilson. He is the owner and founder of 12 Media Group, a video production company that helps small businesses build trust through the power of video, which we all know video is such a powerful thing. We need to be doing more of it, including myself, even though I already do a bunch of it. So I wanted to bring him in to share some of his wisdom with us. So with that said, Mario, thanks for coming and hanging out today.
Thank you for having me, Eli. This is awesome. Welcome.
So this is going to be a lot of fun. We had a cool chat. I guess was it a week or 2 weeks ago? It wasn't that long ago.
I think it was about 2 weeks ago, but
Was it?
time seems to
Yeah.
be flying. Yeah, for
It
sure.
does that anymore. I'm just like, okay, we're halfway through the year as of right now. And I'm like, we're more than it was just the 4th of July and now we're almost to the end of the month. So tell us a little bit about 12 Media Group and what exactly are you helping clients with?
Yeah, so at 12 Media Group, we're a video production company, like you mentioned. The main thing with us is we want to build trust for our clients. And so people don't come to us for just a video, right? It's more than that. We want to make sure that when someone watches one of our clients' videos, that they want to do business with them regardless of price. And so the way that we do that, what's important to us is getting the actual team members on camera. So if it's a law firm, we want the attorneys, we want the legal assistants. If it's a construction company, we want to get the CEO involved. We want to get other team members involved, like the project managers. Because when you are able to articulate what you do and put yourself on camera, which is difficult to do. We don't like to be on camera ourselves at 12 Media Group, believe me, but it helps to build trust because people want to see who the people are behind the brands. And so that's our goal, is to make sure that when someone watches one of our clients' videos, it builds a little more trust and credibility. And they're like, you know what? Their bid may be a little bit higher, but we just trust them more. And that's really what our focus is getting them on camera.
I love that. And the cool thing about this is the stuff that I have been teaching my clients for probably 20 years now, even probably even closer to 30, because even back in my first company with the web and graphic design agency, I used to talk a lot about personal branding. It's like people don't buy from the company. They couldn't care less about the company. They want to know that they trust you. And I love the way you're doing this because we live in this era right now where that is the piece. You can have a company, you can have a, $50 million company with 200 employees, but it's not the company, it's the people in the company that makes that difference. And you said something really important with this that I think is really valuable that a lot of times people aren't going to think about, especially in that kind of situation. Even as a small business, if you have staff, your employees, your other teammates, other people in your company, not just you, should be on camera as well. So let's talk about that for a second, because most people are missing the boat on that one right there.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you brought that up because it's important to get other team members for a couple of different reasons. Number one, you want an accurate representation of your business. If you have a 10 to 15 employee company and it's just you, people may think it's just you. And so they may not think that you're able to handle a larger project or something of that nature. The second thing is, and a lot of owners run into this, especially when they start small and start to grow, is you can overbrand yourself as the owner and then everyone only wants you. And that's a big problem because you have, as the CEO, as the owner of a company, you have other responsibilities now. You cannot be in the business, you cannot be in the weeds. And so if you overbrand yourself on video all the time, then when someone else shows up on the project or answers the phone, etc., they're asking for you. So it's so important that you get the other team members in your company on camera consistently So that way they know that regardless of who is taking care of them, that they're capable of doing so. They have that confidence with them.
I love that. And that is so important. Like for those of us that are solopreneurs like myself, that is a situation. Like I don't really have somebody else to go on camera yet. I have my VAs, I got my outsource company, but they're not in-house team, right? So it's a different scenario. But yeah, as you grow, I see so many people, and I had this even again. I'll go back to my web design company. When I had that, I had 5 employees. I had a staff with me, and it was difficult when I started handing people off. It's like, okay, I've got this designer. You're going to talk to them, and people were not. They didn't like it because they didn't. They knew me, and they wanted to work with just me. So that is such a good way to teach your prospects and your clients that, oh yeah, it's not just me. We have more people here, and you might be dealing with them because they're the right person to help you with this. And I think that, just like you said, it's like it shows, especially those people that are a little bit sketchy, because in today's world where there's so many people that are like, all right, is this guy legit or is he a fly by night? Because there's so many of those out there, that when you do have a business and you've got team members with you, showing that live action of their real people and not just by a profile picture, I think that does build that credibility piece. So people are like, oh, they aren't, they actually have real people. Okay. Because again, I mean, look at this. We're in a world right now where AI is taking over, and people are using AI for their customer service and their conversation so much that people are like, okay, I don't know, because is this a robot or is this a real person that I'm dealing with over email here? And I think that that's where you're changing the conversation and going, oh yeah, no, this is Claire, and oh yeah, that video you saw on our website, she was the one talking there. It makes a different game with it. That is awesome. So what was it that got you into getting into the video production side of things?
Oh, I love this question. So when I founded the company about 14 years ago, I started it as a social media marketing company. I saw a need to where businesses knew they needed to be consistent and have content going out on social media platforms. And the problem was they either didn't have the time to do it themselves or they hated doing it. And so I was like, I know that I can make a difference with social media marketing. But the problem is I would ask my clients, "Hey, send me your pictures, send me your videos," and I would get nothing. And so I would just say, "Hey, meet what's your address? Where's the job site? I'll meet you there and we'll start to do some videos and pictures on site. And that way I have all the content I need and I'll post everything for you." Well, as I started leveling up the level of the video production, it just didn't make sense from a pricing standpoint, from a positioning standpoint, to continue to position myself as just social media marketing. And plus, I just enjoyed the video process. I enjoyed taking an owner or someone in the company that was petrified of being on camera, but knew it was important to helping them feel comfortable and deliver what's in here and here in a concise way. So, about 2 years ago, I decided to pivot and strip down, all the social media services and just focus on video production. And that's been very fruitful because people, really value video. And it's not that they don't value social media marketing. It's just there's so many great tools out there that they literally can just do a lot of this stuff themselves, but they're not able to bring in the professional lighting, the audio, the storyboarding, all the things that we can do from a video production standpoint. They still need to outsource that. And so I really I founded the company because I saw a huge need, and I still think video is a huge need. We're just doing it a little bit different way now to where it's more polished, is involved, and more professional.
Nice. Now I want to go through a little bit here, and let's talk about, whether it's a bigger company or a smaller company, even a solopreneur. What's the first video that somebody should put together if they're going to start taking advantage of really stepping up their video game?
Yes, I actually just had a call with a plumbing company this morning. And to your point, whether it's solopreneur, whether it's a plumbing company with 10, 15 employees, the first video absolutely has to be, it's called the brand story video. Why did you start this business? What do you do? And what makes you different? And so
Mhm.
we work primarily with service-based businesses. And basically, we're all a commodity, whether it's video production, whether you're a plumber, roofer, business
Right.
coach, you have to be able to explain what separates you. And the key is putting yourself on camera because there's only one you, right? And
Mhm.
so there's going to be things about a business owner or a business once they're on camera to where people connect with them. And also conversely, sometimes they're like, you know what? I would never do business with Mario for whatever reason. They don't like the way that I sound or whatnot, and that's fine because we're not wasting each other's time.
Right.
But to go back to your original question, we always like to start with that brand story video. Kind of get into the guts of the company. Why did you want to start this? What's the heart behind it? Very similar to why you asked me why I started the business,
Mhm.
and then we kind of go from there after that.
No, I love that. And that's for me, that's why I use a lot of video, both, especially in social media for that exact reason, because people get to know me a little bit more. And it's what I love. And, for me as a writer, I've been writing like this and I do this with my clients, teaching them write like you talk, which they don't do until I really get to them. But in that process, I've had people literally for decades come to me and like, when they start talking to me like, "You are just like I thought you would be." And I love that. That's exactly what I want. Hopefully what they thought was a good thing, we always have to caveat that. But with video, it gives us the ability to not just talk about what our product and our service is, which, obviously, yeah, but it, like you said, great point. There's so many different people that do what we do, and the difference is us. And so I get people that I use video as a tool to educate people, to show them, that I actually do know what I'm talking about, which is good. But most importantly, they can see my personality, my quirks, my weirdness. And if that gels with them, if they feel like, all right, I feel comfortable around this guy, I think I want to have a conversation with him, that's awesome. And some people are like, yeah, no, I'm not so sure about Eli. And it's like, okay, cool. And they won't bother either of us. It's not a waste of either of our times. And so I personally think video is a great tool for that. And I think that a lot of times people, we hear so much about story brand, and there's the book was out and all that kind of stuff as well. But I think a lot of times people focus too much on the technical aspect about it, and not the actual, okay, what does story branding mean? What does it really mean for you to stand out? And how do we make this useful without just following a formula? I would love to have your thoughts on that one.
I love that, because even though, of course, we have a vested interest to say, of course, hire production company to do a video, but Eli, you can shoot a video with a potato, right? As long as you have the story behind what you do, and again, the separating thing is going to be we only we have our own story, right? And stories sell. Whether you're selling B2B, B2C, whatever the case is, stories are going to sell. And just telling people what we do is not enough. So I would say, to go back to your original question, it doesn't really matter the quality. You can shoot nowadays on an iPhone, on a Samsung, quality cameras, all the things, right? But if you don't have your story down on how you helped, this particular company, or how you've helped these particular people, get into the story of why you even started your business in the first place, that's what matters more than getting into the technical things. So if you're going to start somewhere. Again, simple tripod off Amazon, simple lighting kit, get your iPhone and just record stories on how you've helped people. And I promise you, there's going to be someone with that same ailment, that same
Mhm.
that same problem that goes, you know what? if he can solve my problem, his problem, then they can solve my problem.
Right. No, and I love that you brought up just start because so many people miss that and they expect, you're the video guy. They're like, okay, how many thousands of dollars is this going to cost me? I appreciate the fact that you brought up as like, of course, yes, I would love for you to hire me, but just start. Get a tripod, get a light, and use your phone. Which, I mean, I think since we talked, I've actually got a new phone. My old one was an S9. So I'm very happy about this one. I haven't even had a chance to play with it enough on like doing video or anything yet. So I can't wait to see that. But that is something that I think that always holds people back. And I know that it held me back originally was not having the right equipment, things like that. And the reality is that, especially in today's world, people don't care as much about it. Obviously, when you've got the budget, yeah, spend some money and do it right. You want to look good, but it's not a requirement out of the door. And the fact that we have these phones that are so powerful and give us the ability to shoot amazing quality, really. I mean, it's scary how good they actually are. I don't even remember which one it was, but I heard something about somebody recorded a movie on their phone and it was phenomenal looking. But that's a big thing is getting yourself out there to share who you are, why you got into what you're doing, kind of like what I asked you to begin with. And I think that one of the things that I think people really need to hear more about is if you're looking at like you used to do more social media using video and now you're focusing on video specifically, but like if somebody wants to get started doing videos for social media, what are some of the things that they should be starting with? Because people don't know where to start with a lot of this stuff. They're just like, okay, well, I need to do video, but I don't know what should I talk about. That's a really good one. It's like, what are the topics they should, or how can they come up with topics, I guess is the right question.
Absolutely. In fact, for our social media for 12 Media Group, I have a running note on my phone and iPad of questions that people ask me, and I'm going to add that question to it.
Hmm.
And basically, anytime someone asks you a question, or you're on a discovery call and they present you with a problem that you can solve, that's a video.
Yeah.
So I will be making a video this week on what video should you start with. And then the other video that I'm that I'm going to make is how do you even start to come up with the content? So addressing frequently asked questions through video and
Mhm.
addressing pain points through video are two great places to start. And your customers and potential customers give you this all the time. You're just so
Right.
used to answering it and not paying attention. So just stop after the discovery call or after the sales meeting and
Yep.
just jot down all the questions that they ask you and address those through video. And then another great thing that we do is behind the scenes footage. I don't care if I don't know all the legalities when it comes to mortgage and finance, all the things, but almost any industry that you're in, you should be having someone uh, shoot footage of you performing your trade. So if you're in plumbing and you're fixing the sink, the other person there can be, or you can set the camera up, somehow and just show you at work. Some of our most or best performing content is literally us showing behind the scenes of us shooting
Hmm.
a video on set because they can see how we set up the lighting. They can see how we're miking up everyone, how we're going through the shot list. They can see us in action. And so it does two things. It shows the details that we go through, number one. And then number two, almost more importantly, it's proof of concept, proof that people are actually paying us to shoot videos. We're not just saying, "Hey,
Right.
you should shoot them." We're showing kind of the how the sausage is made and that we're on location, that someone has hired us to do that. So behind the scenes, answer the questions. You'll never run out of content.
All right. And I love that. That is so that was my big takeaway right here. Shoot more B-roll. I mean, that's really what you're looking at. And for anybody knows anything about video, that's what that's called. But having that back end piece, and I didn't even think about it because I have some videos that were the quality wasn't good enough to use to put the video out as itself, but I've taken nuggets of those and used those as either B-roll or like some of my videos are actually kind of like quote memes, but they're in a video format. So it's like, okay, we have this 10-second nugget, and it just, that particular piece just loops, but there's no audio over the top of it, and then it might have some music or whatever, but it's not me talking. And I've done that, and I was like, oh yeah, I need to do more B-roll kind of stuff. And I think that that's a great little trick right there that everybody should be thinking about. Is like, you already have your phone, think about, start being more intentional about either you doing it or somebody else in your team doing it, and recording each other just doing the thing, sitting at your desk working, leaning over talking to a client, whatever the thing is. Just get a couple of shots of that and use that as your B-roll pieces. You can use that in videos, you can use that as images for your memes, all kinds of other stuff. And it's so funny because it's such a basic thing, but it was like, as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I think we need to be doing a lot more of that right there.
Exactly, exactly. I mean, it's such an easy thing to do, but it communicates just so many things to potential customers and refer partners that you're actually busy being hired in the craft that you're doing. So
Right.
again, just have someone, like you said, just get some footage of you performing your trade, and it performs so well. It's just crazy.
Nice. I love it. So that actually leads me to another question I was just thinking about. If when somebody's getting ready to do their videos, how much of it is scripted ahead of time versus, okay, here's the topic, we're going to roll with it? Like, cuz for me, I'm much more of a, here's a topic and roll with it. But I know some people need the script, and I know some people think they need the script and they never get it launched because they haven't written the script. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this whole process.
Oh, I love this question because we coach our clients through this all the time. So the most important part of our process, Eli, is the pre-production meeting. And about a week prior to the shoot, we're going to go over, when I say we, myself and whoever is in leadership that is involved in the video, we're going to go over all the topics that need to be in the video, and then we're going to create our shot list. And we just shot a video that turned out amazing with an attorney. This was 2 weeks ago. We shot this video, and he really wanted to go off of a script. And we explained, if you do this, and this has nothing to do with the person. Most people, when they read a script, look like they are reading a script and sound like they're reading a script. It doesn't allow for the personality to stand out. It almost looks like a 3 o'clock in the morning reverse mortgage commercial, right? And so we want to be able to coach them through talking about the different bullet points and different topics, and then we can clean everything up in the back end in the editing process. So I would say 99.9% of the time we're going to go that route where it's not necessarily scripted, but we've gone over all of the details they want to convey in the video, all the important topics they want to convey, and then we have that shot list, and then our production assistant is coaching them through their topics so they can deliver it more authentically and more genuinely. Now, if they really push us and want to go through a script, we can absolutely do that, and we can set up the prompter and all those kind of things. But again, most people that are not, on the news or anything like that, they're not going to read the script as well as they would deliver just naturally. That's been our approach for the past couple of years.
No, that is great. And I think that is something that people need to think about, because I know for me, I struggled with that for years because of the fact that I cannot read a script. You give me a script to read. I was the kid in school, like when the teacher said, okay, open up your books and, Eli, you're going to read the next page. It was horrible. That was not a fun experience. I still have trauma from it. But,
Yeah.
I think people get stuck on that. They think they have to have a script and they're going word for word with that, where your content, your stuff. And if you can go in that process, and I'm going to lead into this question in just a second of, or this topic in just a second, you should just be more natural with it and just have a conversation and realize, and this is where we're going to go with this, that the wonderful world of having an editor to help you, and yes, you can do this yourself, but it's a real pain. It's not that big of a pain, but it's a lot of work if you really do any of your own editing, is if you screw something up, you just repeat the piece and cut it. I mean, it's like this is where we just talked about B-rolls and things like that. It's a great place to put, some B-roll in there and make a transition and stuff like that. So don't think you have to have, this 5-minute video start to finish in one shot. Even if you're doing it on your own, you could do multiple shots. You can repeat stuff if you need to, because the wonderful world of video editing, it's there. I'd love for you to kind of talk a little bit about how to get people more prepared for that mindset and what can be done in video editing so they can know, they don't have to be perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times, again, it's a lot of the work is done in pre-production. So they already know the bullet points, the topics that they're going to be talking about. But I love the part that you said about how they can redo takes. And our job when we're there, because we know that they're investing, a lot of money for this, because it's one of those things that they don't have to do again for 5 to 10 years. So let's get this right. So, first and foremost, we do not take on more than one shoot per day. We're not in a hurry. We do not have to rush through this. We want you to take as much time as you need to deliver your lines. And if you didn't nail it, let's do it again. Now, that being said, we do coach them through different things that they can do, whether it's breathing techniques, different things to help them recall what they're talking about. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that if they did not nail the line they wanted to nail it, let's shoot it again. Not a problem. And we can handle that on the back end in the editing process. Now, if you're doing this on your own, like you said, it can be a little more tedious because you have to go through all those takes. But that's another advantage of going through someone, a production company, whether it's us or another one, is that we can do all that for you, and you just go back to focusing on what you do. But the main thing is just let's slow down and let's deliver it with confidence. And if you didn't nail it, not a problem. That's what we can do. Several takes until you feel confident with it.
That is awesome. I love it. You brought up something that's really important there. The fact that there's one thing that is nice about hiring a production company above and beyond just taking care of the actual video and the fancy equipment and all that kind of stuff. Somebody who's actually there to coach you through it and make you feel more comfortable with it. And I think that's a piece that we don't have if we're doing it on our own. Like, I do pretty much all my videos I do on my own. And I will tell you, that is actually the hardest part for me to do, is to figure out, okay, this is how I need to stop and take a deep breath, redo this. Like you were just talking about, some exercises to get you more comfortable with it and stuff like that. I have to coach myself on that. And I think that that's a major advantage to having somebody else, not just to, do the actual shooting with the fancy equipment, with all that kind of stuff, but that coaching as somebody who's a professional is like, nope, let's just stop, take a deep breath. Let's work through this and figure out a better way to say that thing or whatever's going on, because that's your area of expertise. And being able to get a client to, calm them down and help them realize, okay, no, wait a minute, you're overthinking it or whatever's going on, I think is a powerful tool. So I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just getting them back in their comfort zone, because
Yeah.
the issue is, as soon as we know what we do, no matter what we do, right? But as soon as you put a camera in our face, like, our
Mhm.
brain just falls out. So it's our job to help them
Yep.
pack that brain back in and help them deliver with confidence. But yes, a coach does help for sure.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. All right. Well, we're getting towards the end of the show here. So the last question, actually, before we do the last couple questions, I want one last thing. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Anything that we missed that to help people out with that next level of getting better on video or getting more committed to doing video that you'd like to share before we wrap up?
I mean, I would say, like I was saying at the beginning, I mean, video is not going away. And you mentioned it towards the top. There's a lot of excuse me, AI tools out there that is, you know, we embrace AI, but as far as like turning a person into an AI type of video, we want to make sure that genuine and being authentic is standing out. So again, just start somewhere, whether it's iPhone, whether it's camera, whether it's production company, whatever the case may be. I just want to encourage everyone out there. Yes, it's not the most fun to be on camera. It's not the most fun to go to the dentist, right? But we know the results can be very impactful. So just start somewhere for sure.
Awesome. Very, very well done. And I would say that, getting on camera is difficult. And it was very difficult for me. It's so funny. I always joke with people because I can get in front of 300 people. It doesn't phase me, but I have to look at that little red dot in there. And it's like drives my brain goes wonky. But I wouldn't compare it to dentistry, but it is definitely one of those things a lot of people don't necessarily like. But I do agree with you 100%. Just get started. And, the last thing I would say on that is always know your first few videos are going to suck, and that's okay. Obviously you hire somebody like yourself, and obviously it's going to be 1,000 times better. It will probably not suck because of that. But if you're doing it on your own, your first few videos are going to suck just because it's practice. You got to get down with it. I mean, I look at videos that I did even a year ago compared to now, and it's like night and day difference. I look at them and just cringe. But I would never be where I am today if it wasn't for starting with the basics back then. And so I encourage everybody out there to just get out there, just do something. And if you want somebody to help, reach out to somebody like Mario and have him take care of you because, hey, that's what they do. That's what they're great at. So with that said, my friend, let's go ahead and wrap things up. Last question is the easy one. How do people get a hold of you? But before we do that, I always ask every client or every guest this, I should say guest, not client, but every guest this, what do the words meet cool people mean to you?
Oh, I love that. So meet cool people to me means just that meeting people that are interested and passionate about what they're doing. One of my favorite things about what we do at 12 Media Group is we're able to work with a range of businesses. And you get to really see behind the scenes and meet people that are excelling in their trade, in their craft, whether it's janitorial services, whether it's a law firm, whether it's a roofing company. We're able to see people that are really doing some good work with integrity because people that allow us to get behind the hood typically are doing a really good job. So to me, meeting cool people means people that are really passionate about what they're doing, whether they play guitar or own a business. I just love hearing what people are excited about.
Awesome. I love it. And that is such a fun thing. It's, when you can actually get to know what people, what they're doing and learn about them, it's such a powerful thing. It's just so much fun. Awesome. All right. So, what is the best way for people to get a hold of you, whether they want to hire you, they just want to see what's going on, they got some questions for you? What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
Yeah, sure. So all of our branding is going to be 12 Media Group. Probably the easiest way is just go to our website, 12mediagroup.com. And if you go to the Our Work section, you can see some of our latest projects. And so that way you can see, okay, does our style align with what you want? If so, I'd love you to reach out. If not, then still connect. And there's other video people I may be able to connect you with.
Awesome. Love it. All right. Well, with that, Mario, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, I had a lot of fun. And thanks for having me on.
All right. And everybody else, get out there. Have an amazing week. As always, if there's anything I can do to help you out, reach out and let me know. Take care. And that wraps up another Meet Cool People show. Now, if you like what you heard, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, or review so I can help introduce these amazing cool people to even more amazing cool people. And just remember, meeting cool people is just the beginning. You need to have a system in place to follow up with the amazing people that you meet. This is exactly what we do for our clients. Now, if you'd like to see if my team and I can help you, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and check out the case study video to see exactly how we're helping our clients turn casual connections into cash clients for life. Again, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and see how we can work together to turn you into a follow-up rock star.